Hey, what is up, everyone? It is me, that Retro Geek, otherwise known as Retro Geek Gaming. Thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel. I want to go ahead and talk about that Nintendo Direct because wow, what a direct it was. A little bit disappointing, and we'll talk about that later. But also some surprises that I didn't expect, and some stuff that I pretty much expected. So, all in all, I would say that Nintendo Direct went pretty much as expected, and you'll understand more by the time we get to the end of the video. So, what exactly happened? Well, Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct today, and I'm sure you've seen it all over social media and other places like that. So, I'm not going to go into every single detail and every single game that was announced because if you're interested in that kind of thing, you either already know about the games that are coming out, or you can just go ahead and look it up and Google it. But to basically give a breakdown of what it has, and I have everything right here. So you'll see me looking down. We have basically just a bunch of ports and remakes coming, which is typical when you're at the end of the console's life cycle, which I still believe we're at the end of the console's life cycle for a pretty good reason. There was nothing really, I mean, there was some good announcement, there was nothing mind-blowing. There was nothing really mind-blowing. We had the new Just Dance game announced. We had Penny's Big Breakaway, which is a 2D, it's a 3D platformer. Looks very interesting. I'm going to play that because I love platforming games. So, there's also just all kinds of RPG games. There's a Super Mario RPG remake that's coming from the SNES. We're getting HD ports of Pikmin 1 and 2. Ports of Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3. You'll kind of see the pattern here that there's a lot of ports and HD remakes coming to sort of just fluff out the library of the Switch. I'm guessing long enough for just a couple more months, for a few more months until we can get to that Switch 2, Switch swap, whatever they want to call the next console. The next Splatoon 3 Splatfest Myth Force, which actually looks interesting. Reminds me of a Saturday morning cartoon, kind of watching like He-Man, Dungeons and Dragons, those old shows back in the day. Might be fun to play and try. A Star Ocean, the Batman Arkham Trilogy is coming to Switch, which woohoo. Good job on porting a PS3 game. Let's see here, what else? Vampire Survivors looked interesting. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon remake, which again, another remake. Mario Kart DLC announced. Pokemon DLC. Pikmin 4 details, which we knew about. A new WarioWare game, which looks interesting. Tears of the Kingdom amiibo announcement. And of course, Detective Pikachu 2. And the big thing that I want to talk about in this, we're not just going to get to the highlights of it. Super Mario Brothers Wonder, a brand new 2D Mario game, which just looks phenomenal. Now, this is why I love Nintendo's, because they could have just given us a cookie cutter 2D Mario game, right? They could have just said, hey, here's Super Mario 3D World 2. Here is, another game like New Super Mario Brothers U or something like that. They could have given us that. Instead, they're giving us brand new ideas, crazy ideas on what it means to be a 2D Mario game. This is why I love Nintendo, because when they give us a new game like they did with Tears of the Kingdom, they expand upon what they've done before to the point to where this is just so fresh, even though it's kind of the same thing. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of the same side-scrolling Mario that you know and love, but with so many crazy and new ideas and suits and stuff like that. It's just going to be crazy. Cannot wait to play this game. And so now we get to the disappointments of it, and also kind of some of the good points, I think. So you can feel free to stop here if you're not interested in that and go watch the Nintendo Direct, because I'd love to hear what you think about the games that are announced. What are you looking forward to the most? But I did notice a couple of things, and they were very blatantly obvious. One, there was no talk about Everybody Want to Switch. That game that everybody's so looking forward to playing. Not a single announcement about it, not a single gameplay, nothing. I'm going to go check the site later to see if they've updated any new screenshots, but I doubt it. The game comes out, I think, next week, and Nintendo has so little faith in the game that they're not even talking about it. So probably best to avoid Everybody 1-2 Switch, because I can imagine that game is not going to be good. It's probably going to be worse than Everybody than 1-2 Switch was, and 1-2 Switch was actually a pretty okay game. So at best, the game will probably be okay or horrible. We'll have to wait and see. No new Donkey Kong announced. Surprisingly, I really thought they were going to try to announce a new Donkey Kong game, because they were talking about how everybody was going to get new games. They were showing off, Super Mario RPG, and then they showed off the Luigi's Mansion 2 remake, and they said, hey, even Princess Peach is going to get a new game. And we'll talk about that more next year, which is the big caveat there. They said next year those games are coming out, which means that the Switch is going to be out until at least 2024. So that kind of throws my idea out there that we're going to get a new Switch. Doesn't mean that they won't announce it. They'll probably just have something announced later in the year that will come out at the end of the fiscal year or something like that. And they'll still just come out with Switch games that are there just to, again, just fill out the library until it ends. But with all these HD remasters and all these ports and stuff like that, I think that we're pretty much at the end of the console's life cycle. But there was also no Metroid Prime 4 announced, which wasn't a surprise at all. Not a surprise at all that we didn't get Metroid Prime 4 announced, because like I said, I pretty much think that they're holding on to a lot of these games. Like, a new 2D Mario was expected because, hey, Mario sells. And this is the kind of game that's going to just do bonkers numbers, I think, on the Switch as one last hurrah. But we're probably not going to see a big 3D Mario until the Switch 2 comes out, or whatever they end up calling it, because they want to show off that console. So like I talked about on the podcast recently, Metroid Prime 4 is probably going to be a cross-gen game or a Switch 2 exclusive. Where it's going to be, this is what the power of the next-gen Switch is. Buy our console. Here's the next Donkey Kong game and the power of the next-gen console. Please buy it. I can imagine they're going to do that. Just like what they did with the PS5. They showed off some amazing games like Gran Turismo 5. And just what these consoles are capable of doing, even though a lot of those games didn't come out for a year or more. So, it's possible. But the longer and longer we go without showing off Metroid Prime 4, I really do think that's going to become vaporware. I'm really hoping it doesn't. I really want it to come out. But who knows? Only time will tell. And Nintendo is good at surprising us. After all, I never thought Metroid Dread would come out, and here we are. We have it. So, but some good surprises, some bad surprises, because again, no new Donkey Kong, which I was at least expecting that. Some good surprises with Super Mario Brothers Wonder, and then some not surprising at all. I didn't expect them to talk about Everybody 1-2 Switch at all, but hey, I was at least hoping. Hey, show us at least a couple of games, because you showed off a bunch of mini games, right? You showed off WarioWare and stuff like that has a lot of mini games to it. So maybe if you're in this whole thing of showing off these multiplayer games and these ports and these sequels and these mini game compilations, then maybe you'll show 1-2 Switch. But they didn't show Everybody 1-2 Switch, not surprising. But that's pretty much my thoughts on the Nintendo Direct. So what did you guys think about the Nintendo Direct? Did you enjoy it? Thumbs up, thumbs down, let me know in the comments. I thought it was as expected. I ultimately give it a thumbs up. I really do think that it was worth watching. I really do think that the surprises that they gave in the game were more than the average one. And again, what they announced wasn't really surprising. But there were still enough surprises to go, wow, that was really worth watching. It's not like everything that they were in there was just like, no, I'm not interested in any of this. There was enough games that I'm interested in that I might give them a try. Even something like a Star Ocean game that I've always kind of been interested in Star Ocean, but I've kind of never really played it. But that remake of Star Ocean 2nd looks pretty good. I might actually give it a try. And it looks like they changed enough about the game to I was like, yeah, maybe. But that's my 2 cents on it, guys. I don't want to take this minute over 10 videos, this video over 10 minutes, so I hope that you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and let me know if there's anything else I can talk about. And I have taken the video over 10 minutes inadvertently, but feel free to like and subscribe, like I said, guys. I just hope that you have a great rest of your day and just keep being awesome out there. Have a good one, and I'll talk to you next time.